And I think that if you go back to the point I made at the beginning of the lecture, talking about how the Greeks saw it, it's still very valid, that good means alignment with God. And so evil basically means going against that light, going against that that unity. So there's a another view that evil is separation from God.
Actually, I think that Greek perspective, is very deep and very important, and very personal. Like, um, of course, the Greeks were very, well, let me finish with very personal in the sense that, that perspective that evil is really going against the will of God really opens an enormous avenue for us to explore our own choices in relation to whether they're good or evil. Like, gives us a concrete way to examine ourselves in relation to that polarity of good versus evil, which I think is very, very useful. Of course, it begs the question, how can you know the will of God for you? But we've got a lot to say about that in our lineage. In fact, we spend a whole year talking about that in Kabbalah. And then we have lots to say about that also in Guardians. So, like, we've got lots to say about, and in Healers. Like, so we've got lots to say about that almost anywhere you look in our lineage. But it's very concrete and actionable and practical, that sort of Greek view, which is not surprising because the Greeks and the Egyptians were basically cousins, if not more than cousins, and Greeks borrowed liberally from the Egyptians, and the Egyptians knew many great things. Thank you, Thoth Hermes. So yes. If I were to invite all of you to take away for contemplation, but besides the entire talk, which was fabulous, but if I were to hone in on one particular part, to really take away that, what Carl spoke about, that Greek viewpoint, which is very aligned with, sort of how we talk about things in deeper parts of our lineage. If good is alignment with the will of God, and evil is to go against that will, then to the extent that you can have even some inkling in your deep in your heart of what a higher version of you would pick, then it gives you a very clear yardstick to kind of make decisions by, which is incredibly valuable.